What up? Let me just do something real quick. How's everybody doing? Arcane, I'm just setting up my YouTube chat on my OBS, but don't worry, the shipment isn't going to be back for like another 30 minutes. I haven't sent it. I'm going to send it now. I wanted to set it up live and then send it off, and then we see it on stream basically. But yeah, we're finally sending the 50 mil shipment. It's hopefully gonna be something good. I've set up everything I think I need to set up. There we go. Okay. I'm only gonna be playing on this character until I get my shipment too. I'm not gonna risk it. Like I have my other character level through the campaign, so I can finally start gearing it towards the final build. But anyways, so bit of context, we have a bunch of food, a whole lot of food, right? Way too much. So I want to start shipping. I want to ship a 50 mil shipment and see what we get. Pretty much, I spent about, how many divines do I have?
What was I doing again?
I don't remember exactly how much, but I think I spent like 34ish, 30ish divs on dust to get the dust I need for this shipment. But this is what essentially what we're looking at. 25 mil dust to get things started. So value already 0. And I think, let me see, I sent you what I wanted to send, the exact numbers. And the reason I chose those numbers, I wanted this to equal 50 mil exactly. For this one, I need orichalcum, and I need 120k, so that is 24ish k. Yeah, 24k orichalcum. Well, I don't have 24k orichalcum, so it's just gonna have to do with that. But yeah, let me open our chat and let's pull out these numbers. So starting off is 350k, because I think this is, I don't know, I almost feel like throwing in more food just because, like, I almost feel like going the inverse way, because then we'd have more raw food in there, like a bigger value of food, and maybe that would affect it. I don't know. But yeah, 350k, 287146, 250k, 220, 225k, 1, and then 200k. As you can see, exactly 50 mil. I already set this up before. I didn't send it off, obviously, but I set this up before. This is how we are going to be at 50 mil. We already have the screenshot just in case we hit something big or we want to see what we did. Odds are I will also try this again if it's decent. And the other way I would do it is I would send more of these crops, just so instead of like having, let's say, 200, 220 something, 250, you would actually have more crops in there by having more wheat. So like, instead of to hit 50 mil with wheat, you would probably have to put like 400k, maybe 350k of this, 300, and then so on and so forth, because this has a higher innate value than this. I don't know if that's logical, if that makes any sense, but you know. So we are currently, just to confirm everything, we are currently on the level 96. This character has done all contents. I don't think there is anything this character could not do here. So there's no reason to send this, not to send this shipment with this character. Just confirming everything, making sure all the every I has been dotted and every T has been crossed. Just making sure. For this one, it is wheat and orichalcum both at 0/0. So we get big values from both, and yeah, we just send it. So we have 31 minutes to spare, and then once this is done, we hold our breaths and we hope it's good. But yeah, I'm gonna click the button. It's gone. All right.
On their way.
All right. I've also switched my farming strategy to harvest versus essences. So I'm no longer doing essences. I'm now doing harvest. The big difference. What did I do? Toxic sewers. Corrupted. Huh? Where did I drop you? Like I dropped you somewhere. Are you in here? No. Where the hell did I drop you? I am so sure I dropped it. By the way, I think this can actually just get destroyed. Maybe. Yeah, I think it actually can. This is the chess piece. Well, we got 2 chess pieces for my Animate Guardian build. There's this one, and then there's this other one should be better. Perfectly. This should be better. You know, it's more increased value gain than yada yada. So, but in any case, we're going to be using this one because we actually bought this one first, and hey, it's decent. Like, it's still good, and it wouldn't hurt to just see what this feels like. Difference is not much. Honestly, for the 2% increased value is going to be all right. I could have sworn, you know, that I had a map and I dropped it. I guess I didn't. That's the only explanation. Unless it was corrupted sea. I said corrupted underground sea. It wasn't. Oh well. Let me get my rejects real quick. I'll get my rejects. We'll pick 11 more maps and then we'll just go. And if we don't have those maps, then we'll buy some. We just need 8 mod. 8 mod for my chains of command. Where are you? There you go. I know I have nothing for underground here. I feel like I don't have for... All these are just white, so they don't technically don't count. Perfectly 11. There you go. I should probably use these glaciers, but I'll leave them for the gold making strat. At no point during the shipment am I going to lose. Am I going to not have gold? Okay. I think with this one, we currently are going quantity. We're trying to stack as much quant as we can. And again, this AG is still kind of budget. I haven't made any changes, so he still doesn't have he still has the budget weapon. He still is using what do you call it? He's still using a tier 2, was it, the explode chests? He's using a Lear cast, so he's not using a Crown of the Tyrant like I want him to. Again, very budget. Tell me we got... Okay, we did. But yeah. So it shouldn't be anything too crazy in terms of performance, but again, I really like this playstyle. It's so comfortable that you just get to walk around. You don't have to touch a minion button. You just walk around, you convocate, they die, and you move on to the next part. It's until you play a Chains of Command build, it's hard to explain just how comfortable the mapping is. You know, it's just it's incredibly comfortable. And then single target because it's, I mean, it's poison. So yo, that is 3 ziggurats out of the last 2 maps. That's pretty lucky. And Declare is so good because, you know, explode. We're able to make use of explode chest on the AG. We're able to make use of well, there's explode chest, there is explode boots, i.e. oh crap. Okay, I saw detonator and I was like, I didn't want to fuck with it. But there's explode chest, there is legacy of fury in there, applying scorch. Again, this is, and in case you're wondering why scorch, I mean, it's not the biggest deal out there, it's decent, but this is a crit, this is an elemental poison build. It poisons mostly through elemental and chaos damage, but we're using auras such as hatred to get some fizz as extra, just for a bit of extra like damage on top of it. Now, of course, this is by no means meta, so if you do decide to try Chains of Command, just keep that in mind, and keep in mind that if he dies, you lose everything. I actually had a very expensive dagger that ended up dying to my negligence in the AG environment, pretty much. How it died was very avoidable, and the reality is I should have avoided it, but I just didn't. And if you're curious as to how it actually died, it was a T-17. It wasn't even anything too serious. What happened was, I think I was doing harvest. I had killed the boss, and I was doing the harvest of the area, and I think I spent a bit too long between the movement and when I came into the, you know, the harvest and everything, because I do ziggurat and there's a lot of like whining back and forth, you know, backtracking, yada yada. So I did that, and by the time I got in, I opened the plot. I forgot to refresh like even a few of the swords. So by the time the thing opened, the few swords that were up died, and because we didn't have like this army, the AG lost his source of regen, i.e. swords dying. And I saw this, and I could have just ported out at that moment when I saw it, but I was like, maybe I can resummon everything. But you know, it's a harvest plot there. They spawn and there is the whole take whatever. And before I knew it, pop. He didn't actually just go pop, like he actually died in like a couple seconds. But when I logged, he was on like half health. But it wasn't enough to save him. I think he was already dead or something. Because I logged in time, like it was still well within. Say what now? Animational canceling? Anyways, it was still like half health when I logged, but I shouldn't have taken the chance regardless. So I should have just either logged or just backed the fuck off until I resummon said swords with my flasks, or taking it slow. But logging and then taking it from the top would probably have been the smart thing to do versus what I did. But yeah, right now we're going to be farming juice. The goal right now, I actually have 2 goals. I want to get the AGs of smiting build up and running, but I kind of want to do it on as budget of a setup as I can. What do I mean by that? I'm trying not to like craft an insane craft a multi-div weapon. I'm thinking start off with something like 6 divines. I mean, it's obviously not going to be a league starter unless I want to try my best but no, there's a few uniques that are just, there are a few uniques that are kind of key to the idea, so trying to spend less than those uniques cost is not the best idea, I don't think. So we'll get those uniques, but the idea is with the uniques and everything else, I want to keep the amount I spend under about 10 divines, or at 10 divines rather, maybe 12 at most, but I'm trying to keep it as low as I can. And then I just want to see how he feels. If the AG feels like he's gonna die, yada yada. What the fuck is happening? Is it just me, or did they just one-shot my tree? I feel like it was the crystal things that actually blew my tree up too. Which is dumb. But hey, what do I know? And honestly, one thing I will say about the explode chest, even at 20 something percent, it's still, huh? Huh? Hmm. 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 I have no idea how I died. Like, not even the slightest clue. There should be no universe where I died there. Unless, like, there's something I didn't see, like a corpse explode, you know. If it's a corpse explode, I can understand that. Yeah, I have no idea how I died. Like, I'm looking at it like I don't know. But anyways, it was a case like this where I didn't have swords when I started, so when they actually came in, there was nothing to do. The damage should pop and, you know, get more swords and yada yada, and the AG just go overrun pretty much. But like, there I know exactly how I died. I got slammed. Like, big slam. I wasn't ready. I actually tried to move away last second, but wasn't enough. Oh, I see why it was that bad. Fucking Soul Eater. It wasn't even this. I guess it wasn't even the slam. It was a Soul Eater. Is there anywhere I can go in the map to? Let me see. Give me a second. Okay. With this done, Soul Eater should have fallen. Bloody hell, I hate Soul Eater on this build. That's the one thing I will say. Soul Eater is a big nightmare because the entire build revolves around, you know, killing things to propagate minions. Like, you kill things, you get more swords, you never run out of swords. They keep dishing damage. What'd you get? Are you back already? That was a quick trip to the store. But no, I haven't gotten the shipment back. I wanted to send it on stream, and it's to Ribbonfell, so that's 30 minutes. I haven't gotten it back. So it's still pending. I don't know what it is. What is it gonna be yet? I was wondering where you're gonna come out from. But yeah, we have like what 20 something minutes before it comes out. It comes back, something like that. So
When I'm ready and not before.
yeah, when I say I'm kind of nervous as to what I'm gonna get. Like I'm genuinely kind of nervous. I'm like, I spent like 34 divines on the dust. Better be good. I'm even going to reload my like. I'm gonna go to stash and I'm going to snapshot my stash before it, so I know exactly how much I got, including bubblegum current. Oh, you're not Solita, you're just enraged. Is there a reason I'm dying so much in this map? Even with Solita, even with all those things, why am I dying so easily? Did I reduce my PDR? Ah, I found the culprit.
I need more mana.
I found the culprit. I was like, I know this character isn't the best with his hits, but he's not this bad. But yeah, with a negative of whatever PDR, I basically have all my flat PDR has basically been cancelled by that. So yeah, it was a situation like that where I didn't have much in the way of like things to kill. And I just spawned a fresh crop. So like that's why I was playing very safe, because I know just how wrong that in particular can go. Now you're feeling a lot you're gonna get. Yes, I am. I kind of wish I was able to get an area that had more, I guess. If I try this again, you know what I'm going to do? I would save it for a point where I have a town. Like I'll just put it in perspective. I would save it for a point where I get a town that requires 3 crops. Like if at this point what I'm going to do is if I get any of the cowgirl towns that require 3 crops, I will try to save up for it depending on the result of this shipment. So, you know, so like this one, but without petrified amber, if that was on here. So basically the way that would work is I would probably dedicate pondium, and I just keep filling pondium up on repeat until I were to get something like 3 crops, and then I try to get the dust for the big shipment and all of that, and try to get it started, because then I'm fulfilling a big order, a big food order, and then have the 50 mil on top of that. But yeah, this is why I send them to 12 minutes. We got 12 minutes, guys. 12. BRB. All right. I think I heard a follow. Man King, thank you for the follow. How you doing? Welcome, welcome. What up? But yeah, we have about 10 minutes on that shipment. Let's just do this. I saw a video. I got pretty curious about Sargog. He made a video about, I think, price fixes. I kind of want to watch it, and I also need to eat, which is why we started stream late. Needed to eat, needed to get food, but the food didn't get here in time, so I ended up not eating. So we're gonna be eating anyways. We have a video here. We're going to watch this video while I eat. I'm going to, of course, maybe talk here and there if there's something I want to talk about. And once we're done, I'm guessing we should be close to shipment time, and then we can just peek out, you know, what exactly we have in store, because I'm nervous. Anyways, it's about price fixing and I think currency exchange. I haven't watched a video, so I don't know.
Oh, howdy all, grab yourself a drink. It is time for some Path of Exile discussion. Today I wanted to talk about the wild price ride that Scarab of Radiant Storms has had that you might have missed if you were just looking at this graph on PoE.ninja. The reason for this is a hoax post that has managed to fool a number of people into buying very large numbers of this Scarab at inflated prices. I wanted to put together a little bit of a warning here. This is the dark side of Faustus's currency exchange. This is the way that players will use it in order to try to enrich themselves at the expense of the broader Path of Exile community. Let's have a look quickly at
one thing I really hope, and one thing that scares me in particular about the whole currency exchange thing, and you know, the feedback they've been given, like people have been given to remove trade as a currency exchange and just leave it to the currency exchange. Well, there are a few problems I have with that. I don't mind it per se, because I mean, having a split is kind of weird. Jeez, ooh. Having a split is kind of weird, but my bigger concern is actually PoE Ninja or Awaken Trade, or these tools we've gotten so accustomed to using. I do not want a situation where we cannot find the price of a Scarab or of certain things outside the game because it's all in the currency exchange, and the currency exchange does not provide they don't have the currency exchange API for like prices and whatnot. That is I think my biggest concern with it, where let's say you're a new player, you drop a lesser Eldritch Echo day one league start, right? It's gonna be expensive, but thank you. It's gonna be expensive, right? At least the chaos, I don't know, league start chaos is expensive, right? However, if you can't check, you might not know to pick it up in town. You just know you're finding a lot of it or whatever. And this also extends to things like Wealthy Exile, because that is exactly how they get their prices. So I think my biggest concern is if they're going to remove trade from housing currency, then the alternative needs to also provide the things that trade is, in the form of, like, you know, its own API, being able to access the prices and all of that, being able to see and not have to like discontinue these tools we're using. But I mean, that is one. And then the second one is just the fact that I think not being able to trade currency when you really need it without gold is kind of rough. I'll give you an example. With my AG, with my current build, the Chains of Command build, when my last AG died, no, this was not even when it died. This was when we had the dagger fiasco. You guys, if you were here, then you know what I'm talking about. But when we had the dagger fiasco and I decided to craft a better dagger, I was buying a lot of like juice for the crafts on the currency exchange. But eventually, because of the way just the gold works and how much juice you have to get and the gold cost attached to that and whatever, I quickly ran out of gold. Very quickly. And once that happened, I had two options. Either I go farm with my unideal AG and risk him dying completely, which, because he was holding two daggers, like he didn't have his endurance charges like I wanted him to have, and yada yada yada. Either that, or I use trade and I get the currency and I finish what I'm crafting. I get my build to where I want it to be. Those are my two options. Now, if you remove trade from the equation and I 100% need the gold, then we have a problem. I could easily have gotten to a point where I had a bricked character where I couldn't farm the currency I'm used to farming for gold, and then I had to create a new character just to unbrick that character, which is kind of that is not the situation anybody should have to be in, especially when they have the currency. Like it's not like you just poorly planned and you ran out of currency. No, it's gold. You know, it's not like you didn't liquidate your stuff. It's gold. And then the converse is like, even if you have the currency and you want to liquidate and, you know, get more money for the craft, you don't have the gold to do it. So like you're just stuck. So now that we're done with that side rant, we can actually continue the video. I just wanted to say that because I've heard the conversation or the argument brought up here and there, and I'm just like, I have mixed feelings about it. Pretty much, it's not a bad idea, but I just have mixed feelings.
As it's been tracked over the last couple of weeks, you'll see it was 3 chaos early, dropped to 2 chaos, dropped to 1.5, and dropped to 1. This has been the price as measured by successful transactions that have been picked up through the trade API and aggregated on PoE.ninja. Let's have a look instead at Faustus's currency exchange today. What you will see here is that there's a fair bit of buying demand at 6 Chaos Orbs to the Radiant Storm Scarab, so there's people wanting to buy 102 of them at that price. Then there's a very large amount of demand at 4 Chaos. There's 596 Scarabs demanded there. On the flip side, people selling this Scarab, they're not really a large number of them, and they're selling it for 9, 10, 11, even 20, 28 Chaos. So what exactly has gone on here? Well, this is the reaction to a hoax post that was made on the Path of Exile subreddit. Now, the reason I'm confident this is a hoax post is that if this was a legitimate post, there'd be a whole lot of other information about it. For instance, some of the biggest Magic Find streamers, people like Fubgen, they would have been carrying out this strategy online. Anyways, here is the post in question. There's a number of things in it that make it really stand out as dubious. So firstly, it is by someone whose entire Reddit history is 3 posts total. This is the 3rd post this Reddit account has ever made. And it is by someone with a very charming...
Definitely not fishy.
Anyways, leaving names aside, I do...
Definitely not.
...the name of Piss Jiggle.
Lol.
Anyways, leaving names aside, I do use a reasonably uninformative name myself online. They do say here, no, people are not price fixing uniques. How we are making 5 headhunters per map. And in doing this, this post is really interesting. Firstly, it invokes envy in people. We're making 5 headhunters per map. That's absolutely crazy. But it does so in a way that doesn't trigger...
Yo, social engineering. Trying to move the entire market.
Instead, we're making 5 Mage Bloods per map. That would stand out as completely impossible. Leave aside the fact that Headhunter and Mage Blood are the same rarity. Grinding Games put them at the same rarity, and it's just that players want Mage Blood more, which is the reason that Mage Blood's more expensive. But that said, Headhunter and Mage Blood, they're the same rarity as each other, so even is Beano's Kitchen Knife. No, people are not price fixing uniques. Everyone in Path of Exile hates a price fixer. And so this is designed in order to make you angry and to make you think the game is unfair. Well, where are you going to get votes for something that is rage bait and that makes you think the game is unfair? On the Path of Exile subreddit. Normally, and this is a bit of an exception honestly, normally a post that is dishonest rage bait would get a lot of upvotes there. Anyways, it then goes on to detail a strategy that has been tested by...
I mean, right now he's sitting at 0 upvotes.
Works.
If this is
dysfunctional, but it's also not extremely effective either. They claim here, 325 introduced a Scarab called the Scarab of Radiant Storms that adds a Tempest to your map when stood in. It gives you 50 quantity and 150 rarity. I think it's actually 50 and 50. And claims that this slowly tricks 50 and 150 rarity. I think it's actually 50 and 50. And claims that this slowly tricks down to 0. However, when a mob stands in this, it gets 1,000 quantity, 1,000 rarity. Now, when a mob stands in it, it does get 1,000 quantity and rarity, but I believe that's the part that ticks down. Anyways, this introductory paragraph is mostly true, possibly a little bit wrong on the edges. Then they make the claim. Our group consists of this, and then they outline a group that's designed to be something that you probably can't put together yourself easily. Immortal Vast Cyclone Gladiator with Hate Forge, Magic Find Color, Support Champion, Penance Brand Carry, and 2 Leech accounts. Then talks about running 100% Delirious Tier 17 Fortress maps with a bunch of difficult scarabs, ones that make the maps way harder. And then once you do that, it then simply turns every item that drops into a unique. Now, a number of people have tested if it is still possible to make every item that drops upgrade to a unique, and that was possible in patch 3.24. It was possible back with bug maps, I think in 3.12, but it hasn't been possible since, except maybe in 3.23 with extreme amounts of rarity from the Wildwood. In any case, this is just simply not true. And on top of that, even if every item that drops, maybe in 3.23 with extreme amounts.
Wait, it was possible in Necropolis?
3.24, it was possible back in 3.23 with extreme amounts of rarity from the Wildwood. In any case,
oh yeah, because of the all flame things. Okay, that makes sense.
This is just simply not true. And on top of that, even if every item that dropped in the map was upgraded to unique, it's not going to be enough to get you 5 headhunters per map, because there is no way to bias towards the rarer unique items. So when you get a unique item, if it's eligible to be a headhunter, or eligible to be a Mage Blood, or a Calandra's Touch, or a Squire, or whatever, it's still about 1 in 40,000 that you're going to get a headhunter. And for every 1 headhunter that you get, you're going to see something like 1,000 Worms Molts. Then of course it finishes with a line that is designed to make you think, oh yep, Grungy Games made another mistake, and something that's going to make the game less fair for ordinary players. In short, this is a very effective rage bait, and that's the reason that a number of people paid attention to it, the reason that the Scarab of Radiant Storms increased in price. Fortunately, it hasn't increased in price as much as might be expected for an item as rare as Scarab of Radiant Storms. If this had really gone viral, if it had been upvoted rather than downvoted, if it hadn't had someone come along, Shodoken123 here, and slap it down and say, this does not seem to be true early on, then it's possible that we might have seen the Scarab of Radiant Storms jump up to 20 or 30 chaos, at which point the perpetrators of the hoax would cash out, and they would end up selling their 20,000 or whatever number of Scarabs they bought at an extremely inflated price, and laugh all the way to the bank at the expense of other players. The real thing that makes this plausible though, is that this is the detrimental side to something like Faustus's currency exchange. Faustus's currency exchange is great. It is more upside than downside. But I do think it's worth remembering that there is a downside to it, and that is that once you commit to a trade, you are at the mercy of the buyer at that point, and you can't back out if you then realize that, oh, I'm getting ridiculous buyer activity that shouldn't be the case, because it looks like I've been fooled by price fixers. If that's the case, the price fixing strategy or whatever it is has already worked by the time you realize that something was wrong with your read on what the price really was. That's the danger of the currency exchange. I do think it's a net positive for the game, but I do think everyone should be aware of this, and just keep your eye out for any intentional misinformation that might be spread, because posts like this are the sort of thing that can end up causing a lot of people to lose a lot of currency, and can also make some of the worst people in Path of Exile a lot of currency if they go unchallenged. If you do see something that looks like it's a complete hoax, then call it out, and if it turns out that you're wrong, just apologize, because sometimes there will be something that's broken, and you can say afterwards, okay, I didn't believe that was true, I apologize, you were right, I was wrong. There's no shame in that, but being skeptical of claims that seem ridiculous is something that can stop people from winding up in a pretty awkward spot where they realize they have bought a whole bunch of scarabs at inflated prices based upon complete nonsense information. One final word though, I do genuinely think this scarab is good. I just think it's good on a basis of adding a lot of loot per map, and that's different to adding a lot of loot per hour. It's very good, but it may not be the best thing you can.
Okay, still not done eating, but that was a pretty good video. Oh. I mean, I can't really know what's the importance of. I mean, we'll probably check this video next. I'm almost done. But that's pretty interesting. With the Radiant Storms, or this situation in particular, I feel like what is my thought process here? I didn't fully understand what he meant by once you've put it in the exchange, you can't like change your mind. In the sense of, yeah, they price fixed. They put the scrubs at probably a higher price, yada yada. Maybe if you committed to buying it, you can't change your mind, which is true. But at the same time, the odds of you going from willing to spend however much you spent on it in trade or in the currency exchange versus, let's even use a trade environment. In trade, the chances of you using the time between finding the buyer and buying it to change your mind is very slim. Like, I don't think it really changes. The problem is the fact that you were convinced it was worth something, not necessarily that you're locked in, unless it's like you accidentally put your something for too low and then the person who is price fixing just scooped it up or something like that. I don't know, unless it's a situation like that. But I mean, currency exchange also prevents price fixing in that sense, because what happens is your underpriced things can easily still be bought by someone else and you have no control over it. So I don't know. What do I think about the whole thing as a whole? I mean, dubious people would be dubious people. Like, they're always going to try to trick people and steal your shit. You just have to be attentive and all of that, right? It's the way it is in many different games, many different genres. That's just the way it is. Would be ideal if it wasn't that way, but right now it is what it is. It's a good video overall. I think I like it a lot. I like the spreading actual information versus not letting the hoax propagate. Let's see what Dreamcore has to say. I feel like I've missed a few Dreamcore videos. Endurance charges, I feel like he's going to, I want to see that he talks about a different actually I would rather see this one. This is one I actually want to see, because I've been looking for defensive ideas for how to build my characters, and I mean, I'm open to ideas that are not, the typical ones you'd go for. I don't think I want to try ward stuff, because I think the whole ward Power Stone tech is now probably expensive AF from what I hear, so I'm not going to bother with stuff like that. But I'm thinking more things you can just add. Like, I'm using endurance charges. Is there something I could add to that to then maybe make each one more worth it, or something I can use to get even more endurance charges, without actually affecting my build. The power tech isn't expensive, really. Let me see what else. It requires the boots, it requires a flask, it requires, I don't know how much the boots or the flasks are, but I think I remember hearing that, I think it was a chest piece. I don't know if it was a chest piece or the boots. I think it might have been the boots. Had gone very high in price or something like that.
5 ships with a lot of changes that have completely shifted the meta.
5 chaos. Okay.
Of the archetypes,
then I guess it wasn't the boots.
Also, exactly how they're being built and which mechanics are being favored over others. Whilst a lot of this can be attributed to the overhaul to melee in 3.25 and the...
I like how there's a grave here. Honestly, something. Honestly, the price of the belt. I feel like I'm going to mess around with it. Well, not boots. Yinda's stand. I feel like I want to mess around with this belt this season at least once. I also feel like I'm going to mess around with the flask tech. I don't know what build I would want to go with that, because minions are already so demanding to then have to get a bare minimum of like flash charges gained per second, yada yada. Not using flasks, that just makes it a champion build, because I can use my banners for that. But then another problem with that is I would then have to permacast temporal chains to get rid of the downside, and that alongside banner gameplay. I don't know. We'll have to see how that feels. I don't know. But I feel like I will mess around with Yinda's stand and potentially look at the war tech. I don't know that I will commit to it, but I'll look at it.
the resurgence of players picking up those builds once more, there were some really significant changes that have had a huge impact on every build archetype, no matter which location that build finds itself on the passive skill tree or what type of build
Big
it is.
changes to defenses.
And that's the changes to the makeup of core defenses in 3.25. Defenses had been in a similar spot ever since patch 3.16, which introduced spell suppression and overhauled the evasion and armor formulas, along with massive buffs to both grace and determination, which saw those auras being used incredibly often on many builds going forward. In the time since then, the game has slowly but surely become balanced around the existence of spell suppression, whilst a huge representation of builds used grace or determination, or even both auras at the same time to shore up their defenses. But this changed in a big way in 3.25, so let's take a look at those changes and how they've impacted the meta, beginning with those auras. In Settlers of Kalgur, both grace and determination were nerfed.
Quick question, Dreamcore doesn't stream often, right? Because I feel like I've seen him, like he has appeared on streams, right? Into podcasts, interviews, stuff like that. But never, well, I guess it's just podcasts, but I don't think he streams, right? Because in my head, I'm curious as to what builds he is, what builds he's playing essentially, how he structures his defensive layering. I would be very curious to see what he does because of his insight into defenses, I guess.
But their nerfs were the result of another change, which saw the introduction of a large amount of new armor base types with considerably higher base defenses. If we're to just isolate this change and compare characters using those auras in 3.24 to 3.25, the end result isn't all that significant, with a simple shift in exactly where the base defense is coming from, and only a minimal change in how much is actually being gained. You gain more base defenses from gear and less from auras, but the actual amount you have in total is somewhat comparable to previous patches. However, out of isolation, this change is far more significant because we've seen a big shift in the amount of characters actually using the Grace and Determination auras. In 3.24 Necropolis, 45% of players were using Grace and 41%
You can always see his profile he plays. Oh, he does?
16%
Okay.
of all of the players in the league using both auras at the same time. Fast forward to 3.25 Settlers, and there's a huge drop-off. Grace with 27% of characters using it, while Determination has seen a similar trend with just 24% of characters using it. But the biggest drop-off is that subsection of characters using both auras, which was 16% in 3.24, down to just 4% in 3.25. The reason for this drop-off is that the opportunity cost of using these defensive auras has massively increased. You gain a lot less from using them in an average build, and the amount of base defenses one can gain from gear alone is extremely significant now, to the point that you can essentially build your tree a bit differently to incorporate more of those defensive wheels for armor or evasion scaling, and end up with the same amount of defensive stat you would have in previous patches without using one of those auras. But there's another really big change that's related to this meta shift which we need to discuss for the full story, and that's the change to endurance charges. See, for the large majority of builds using Grace or Determination or both in previous patches, they were using them for their benefit against physical attacks from monsters for the most part. After all, this is one of the most dangerous things you encounter when you first reach maps. Most monsters have basic physical attacks, and some of them deal a lot of damage, and this is the cause of a lot of deaths in early character progression. And the addition of those defensive auras in a lot of builds help to protect your character against those hits. But in 3.25, we've seen a shift away from using those auras, and a shift towards not just utilizing endurance charges, but also heavily investing into them. Endurance charges were changed in the Settlers of Kalgur so that they no longer provide elemental resistances, but instead grant elemental damage reduction. They still provide PDR as well, so each charge now grants 4% additional physical damage reduction and 4% elemental damage reduction. And a lot of builds are finding ways to fit endurance charges into their setup. Now, one thing that must be said here, of course, is that naturally, if melee builds are more viable and there are more characters on the lower left side of the passive skill tree, there are a lot more builds that can and will invest into endurance charges. But overall, the usage of endurance charges across the board went up massively in 3.25, even for the builds that are typically on that subsection of the...
Give me a second. Finally done using. I'll be back. We might continue this video, but we need to check our shipments. BRB. I am back. And are we ready to see the shipments? I'm gonna take the silence as a yes. Hurricane, I assume you're here. If you are, drop a message and then I can go open it. And if you're not, then I'll wait for you to get back. Alright. It sounds like you're even more anxious than I am. Quick check. Level 96. Oh, you're in a deadlock game. Okay. I think Quinn streamed it for a bit today. Didn't get to see it though.
You should really check out what came in from Ribbenfell.
Ribbenfell, what do you have for me? Okay. This is profit. This is big profit already. 2 mirror shards. Can't complain. You know. 2 mirror shards. Only 1 power rune though. For 10 time runes. Not bad. Like I got every single rune. I think I got 2 mirror shards. All in all, I think it was pretty good. It wasn't, it really was not a bad 30 something divine spent. I think it was like 34, right? Just off of the mirror shards alone, I think I make a profit of, yeah. I made over 20 divines profit in just the mirror shards alone, not including the 4 divines and 1 power rune and, you know, everything else. So let's take a screenshot and let's keep our bounty. Boom, page 1. Page 2. But yeah, 2 mirror shards, I'll take it. I will take it. If I had to estimate how much it would cost you to get 25 TFT prices 25 mil gold or dust at about 50 divines, give or take. So it would still even have been a profit if I bought all my dust just off of that. Oh wait, I forgot. PoE no, wealthy exile. Sync, please. Okay, cool. We are 204 divines. So we're gonna see just how much we make from everything. Take all. Wait. You were highlighted. You have max T1 elemental. Wouldn't have been bad if you had decent other stats, but I'll put up for a divine and see what if it sells. Oh wait, it wasn't even highlighted by my loot filter. Looking at the screenshot, it wasn't. Why did it look like it was at the end then? Okay. Now I don't think we'll go for a divine. What is the base? Imperial? Okay, maybe it will. Love increased. And again, if it doesn't, I just dismantle it. 1 divine. Not the end of the world. But yeah, I'm very happy I broke even. Like, that was my biggest worry. Like, am I actually not gonna break even here? The fear. Yeah, it turned out fine. But yeah, I'm going to do what I said. I'm going to send a ship. I'm going to try to keep Pondium satisfied in terms of resources, and eventually my hope is Pondium will give me something I can work with. Or Calgord, depending. Maybe I should even do Ribbonfell. I would rather it was somewhere close to my base so that I can do shorter shipments, like in a situation like this where we did it before, where we send the shipment off, we got it in 30 minutes. Where if it was like here, it was like 2 hours or something. I think it's like a 2-hour destination anyways. Yeah, 1 hour 38. But anyway, this is an inventory full of pure currency. Boy, does it look good. I got 5 exalts. and 4 divines. Why? You could have just gone to divines. Just saying.
What was I thinking about just now?
All right. So now we have 2 power runes. I think power runes are also going down in price. Actually, no. They went down to 6, and I think they're going back up. Either way, I'm probably gonna hold on to these because I might craft it with them. And as for the mirror shards, where are they worth more? That is the question. I kind of want to keep them as mirror shards, but I also want to fund my next build. So some things got to go. But even beyond that, we have 14 divines to work with. Let's resync our tab and let's see how much we gained. We just gained, it says 56 divines, but is it really 56 divines? I like how it says plus 1,000 divines per hour. Yeah. I'm making 1,000 divines an hour. Get on my level. But yeah, this is 79 divines, 30 chaos. Yeah, okay. I believe it. This 58 divine, 6.3, 5.7, 4, 1.7, 81, 76. It quickly goes down to just chaoses. But even in, I guess we just got 1 orb of annulment. Let me see the actual bubblegum we got. We only got 8C in alterations. We only got 11 in GCPs. 7. So you can tell that they really upgraded. Like these were just upgrading, which is why we only get like a few chaos of them. And then they accumulated up to like 1. I'm surprised it wasn't up to a divine in Exalt, but I mean just 5, so. 5 Exalts that were so close to being divines. So close. So close. Then of course, time is just beautiful. We got 10 time runes. Like it's wild that we got 10, but we got 10. So I think it's a case of these guys upgraded to the time runes, but the time rune just didn't quite get enough to upgrade to an extra power rune. Like I don't know how many time runes we would have had to get to a power rune, but I mean it's interesting. But if you look at everything as an upgrade situation, like everything has to upgrade, then in a different universe, we easily get the second power rune and make even more profits. I'm also kind of curious as to see what it looks like with, I won't say too low dust, but like, what does it look like if you just send them 50 mil of food? Like you give them more food than their town can handle. That I'm curious about. But overall, this was good. This was really good. All right, so we have 14 divines, and it's kind of around the budget I was gonna say for the next build. So I'm going to take these 14 divines, and I'm going to gear my AG. And this is a cross between me telling myself and me telling the game, but I'm okay with it dying. I have to convince myself that I'm okay with it dying because I just finished the campaign. I'm not capped on res yet. I can't use it perfectly. Lots of issues with this guy right now. But I have to be okay with it dying. AG of smiting right now is level 15. It could be better. It could be much better. But I can't use level 21. I can maybe use level 17, 18, something like that. I don't know. Maybe. But I don't have that. So I have to make do with what I have. So how do we get this character from where it is now to up and running, quote unquote? Without losing too much. This is the one we have going on. No, this does not have trigger. This is the shield. These are both self-crafted equipment. This one I just threw a bunch of bound fossils until I got something I could work with, and I crafted minion damage. Then this one, this was more expensive. I crafted it way back. I took it off my other character. I don't mind it because I would have preferred if it gave minion life, to be honest. Well, it's fine. I need to change my boots to something I can work with. I need to change my gloves into something I can work with. Then I need to change my chest piece ASAP. But I can't go into a perfidy. Do I have a spare chest piece? 6 link? Question mark? I have a 5 link. Oh, we got this space, I guess. I could just craft something basic. How would I craft something basic that I could work with here? I think my biggest nope, I cannot. It's high requirements. I knew there was a reason it's here. 84, 84, 78. 78. Must have been a replacement. You I can work with because you have chaos res, you have strength, you have dex. I don't need strength actually. I kept you because I wanted a glove that I could use on newly geared characters. Even these flasks I'm supposed to be using, but I took them off my other character, but they are all out of reach. Level 66, 67, yada yada. This is the one he had. Trash, has nothing but minions are aggressive. So I'd rather use this. Plus I kind of just want to see the behavior, right? Then I think I buy a base. I throw a few essences of maybe res, like early res, because I think chaos res essences are typically more expensive. So I just buy a base, throw a few of those essences, hope I get something good with before long, and go from. Now there's no 6 link here. I could easily go for a 5 link in my stash. I mean, I would rather not, but I could. And this was technically a 6 link. Even I really don't care for other cold damage. Not the end of the world. Amulets. Amulets should be the first thing. I'm gonna use a Jinxed Juju. This has death attunement, so I mean that works out beautifully. I do need more intelligence, it seems. Question mark? Yeah, intelligence. I had a feeling it was intelligence. A whole 42 intelligence. How do I make this work? I think I just kind of have to get it elsewhere. I.e. like on my boots. So I guess let's start from there. We need to make sure we have the attributes to not lose. Firstly, I guess let's remove everything we're not going to be using. And let's see just how much XP we have, I guess. Let's say XP. I meant stats. We have 223 and 106 ints. Not the best ints, but we'll work with it. This essentially makes it so I can use everything here. So first things first, I need 180 intelligence total. So I need to get a total of, well, 80 ints. So I guess we start off with rings. We need rings that have intelligence. Well, we need a ring that has intelligence. I also don't need to cap my chaos res. I'll focus on early res. But I also want to focus on chaos res because my banners give me resistance all the same. But that is not until I get my perfidy. So I can't rely on my chest piece for stats because my chest piece is not going to have resistances. So this is basically, I'm going to take this as a non-existent spot. I have minus 50 chaos res and we'll work with that in mind. If I do this and I do this, these two I think are kind of standard. I can leave them in as is. But yeah, rings. Do we have any ring that's decent? I know I had a bunch of like pre-crafted rings. Has good dexterity, has chaos res, but it has minion move speed. And minion move speed is not bad for this build, but probably not the best either. So let's just open trade and let's just figure out what we need. We need the following stats. PoE.co. We need the following stats. We need intelligence, elemental res, for boots we need movement speed, helmet I'm going to use a unique, chest piece unique. However, I don't want to keep my current chest piece, so I need to get a chest piece that just has like PDR maybe. I'll just craft for the chest piece. I'm actually just going to buy a random 6 link and I'm going to craft it myself. I think that's what I'm going to do. This is armor base. Speaking of armor base, yeah, this is armor base. So if we find one that has armor base as well, and we just give it life, and yeah, we're not going to use any reforges. Y'all seen this shit? That's kind of funny. Anyways, what else do I need? I need some dexterity. You give dexterity, which is really good. I'm probably going to use this cluster for a while. This is the old cluster my main character used. This being said, it is missing 2 passives and vicious bite, so there's also that. Yeah, there's also that. I think I also crafted. Did I craft this myself? I feel like I did, or maybe I bought it. I don't remember. Then for resistances, what do I need? Yeah, nothing here is given. Nothing replaceable is given res except chaos res. So I can look. I need a ton of res. I basically have no cold res, and I have some fire res. And the unique helmet I plan on getting is going to remove some of that res. So I say we actually buy it first and then go from there. So let's just start. Formless Inferno. I need something that has decent life on it. When I mean decent life, I'm looking at, yeah, in the 90s. It has Infernal Legions. I have to be careful of what I socket in there. So this cannot go there for any reason. Oh, you're corrupted? That's fun. And you have good life. I'll make you worth it. I also need my PoB open for this. What colors are the things in my helmet gonna be? Red, blue, blue, blue. Yikes. Everything's blue. I'm gonna just go. Okay. Give me blue. It's not that difficult. Give me blue. Wrong version of blue, but it's not red, so that's good. Come on. Blue. 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 Bruh. How deep is the... Okay, it's 148 strength. It actually is quite heavily strength leaning. I'm also feeling some some bit of lag. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, this is fine for now. Then we have to link it via here. I don't think it will need to be 4 linked sockets. Yeah, they don't have to be. But in any case, my defensive goes here. So where's my automation setup? There we go. Then there's my dash. Jeez. I think I'm good now. Which is flame dash. And conductivity. I almost worried, but then I remembered we already have our Race Spectre. And I don't want to upset the balance of my Race Spectre. Oh shit, we're getting 22 ints from here. Okay. That is int we kind of have to take into account. Let's go to town and just see what it looks like without the belt. Where are the Thanksgiving stats right now? You and you. 84. So I need 100 int right now. 100. Fun stuff. Anyways, you. Anything I'm not gonna use will probably not end up in this side of the inventory. But in any case, what goes next? I want to get my boots next so I can just solve. So I can solve where these go. I don't have to worry about it. So let's get our boots. I believe we use a rare pair. So for this one, I'm not gonna craft myself. I don't think it's unless I crafted hiccups now. Unless I crafted like movement speed essences and got live, then worked on prefixes. It's just cheaper to buy stuff. Okay, let me just pick up water real quick because I'm died. Oh jeez. I don't know who gets hiccups from freaking drinking guava, but apparently I do. So bloody weird. Anyways, boots, movement speed. I need a source of dexterity because I'm at 53 dexterity. 53. Let's make my boots that source of stats. The other things we're more likely to move around, but the boots, if we get a good pair, they're likely to stay. Okay. So yeah, something like this. Let's go 51. And this has big, it has like T1 everything. It doesn't have life though, but you can always craft life. I would ideally like an armor base. Let's see if we find any that's armor base. We've already hit the 1 divine threshold. Okay. Beggars can be choosers then. This I guess is alright. I'm thinking I might actually splurge on my boots because I don't want to have to replace them in the foreseeable future. So let's just put life in here. And let's just do 70. This is a divine. Has good dex, has good ints. Sadly has evasion. It has max life. Is this hybrid? Yes, max life evasion and then max life crafted. I think this is fine. But let's look at what other options we have. We have even more max life coming from this one. From this one. So I think we're going to spend 1 divine on the boots. And then we'll have 9 divines left. Then the ideal goal would be spend a divine on... I'll spend a divine getting 2 rings. Spend a divine... Well, divine on 2 rings on belt, and then another divine on belt and gloves. Gloves should be very cheap. So darkness and throne might not be. Like it should be for like a 98%, should be less than a divine. So I should in theory be able to get like both of them for a divine, get like 90 something percent right now. And then for the AG, that is going to be a tricky part because I think even the AG doesn't quite have access to everything. Because right now the AG of smiting has access to level 71 gear, which is decent, but not the best. This has really good life, like really good life. It has cold res. This is a good. These are boots I'll actually buy. Those are boots I'll buy. I need to just keep them in mind. This has okay. No, we've skipped to 2.5 divine, so this is good bang for my buck. Oh look, the rare person actually using a Rakiata's dance and not venturing it or disenchanting it. Oh, we have a perfect forest warrior. We're gonna need one. But that works. All right. While we wait for that, let's see just how much a darkness enthroned costs. Thank you. I should be careful coming back to my hideout. But we have our boots. We still need to Eldritch its bow. We have our boots. With the boots, let's see just how well our stats are holding up. If we get to the point where we can... Okay, cool. That's fine with me. We can now take this off. I just wanted to get to the point where we can actually take it off and this doesn't die. How much intelligence do we have? We have 103 dex and 161. What is the goal for dexterity? I think it is 155. Let me check with haste. Haste is, yeah, 155. So if I want to use haste long term, I kind of have to get with the program and get to 155 dex. We're going to try to do that on my gloves. Yeah, a bunch of decks. And then the remaining ints. Well, we're getting ints here. But we're not going to be getting ints from Unetals once I switch into it. So I'm just going to put some int on a ring. Just one ring. That's all. But the dexterity needs to come from my gloves. And I need at least 52 dex from my gloves. So first things first, Darkness Enthroned. I want 98. That's a divine by itself. How much is 100? Still like near 9 divines. Okay. We'll go for 95% then. Yeah, 30C. Let's just make sure there's no 96. Yeah, 95. Yeah. It's not the end of the world for me getting a 95 Darkness Enthroned on this build because those are nice wings. 50 chaos. The fuck is this? Oh, he's in King's March. Thank you. Hmm? Okay, good. We're still safe. We need to get to 183 ints, I believe. Yeah, 183. Because I probably plan on using convening ones. I don't know about trying to get to the point where I can use a convoking ones. A lot of ints that I just don't have access to on this build. So probably not going to go for it. The goal is at least 52 int on the glove. So let's put that while we remember. We need at least 52 int. Gloves are not necessary. Movement speed at Dunzo. Then just max life on res. Bonus points if it has a free. Let's do this. Empty prefix. I'm going to put this and then deactivate it just so it shows us at the bottom. If it has any. Two empty prefixes, good life, decent code res, but more importantly the intelligence. Yes. Okay. Let's be more ambitious with our life then. Let's go 90. For res, at least 45. This has macro life. Has ints, has trash decks. The dex is the problem here. I don't particularly care for mana, but mana is also not the worst. Armor ES, this is probably better for me. 98 max life, not bad. The 2 ends and then 48 fire res. I'm not taking corrupted. Armor ES. This has 123, 53. Increased stun and block recovery. Increase ES. So it has a free prefix I can craft minion damage on. But I don't particularly like the resistances. They're kind of low rolled. Like these resistances are much better. And this is more likely to be something I get. Just so I can deal with. I can still craft minion damage. Is there really no armor piece? Maximum is 200 chaos. This is the most expensive. Is it worth the price? It has T1 intelligence. Kind of has hybrid life and ES, and then T5 life and mana. The life is really not the best. But that being said, it has 90 something. 102, 48, 40 days, 54. Craft minion damage. This is perfect, but it's a divine. Let's see if we can find something as good but cheaper. And if I cannot, then we'll come back to it. Like, this is really good. I swear, the best are literally just ES bases. I guess I understand why. It's because it naturally rolls on it, right? If I was looking for strength, I'd get more. For a strength base to have intelligence, it means someone crafted it. But yeah, this is much cheaper than the ones we saw. But the resistances are also less. Like this one has a total of... Wait, it's not... Okay, that's probably not the one. Yeah, it's not even the one. It's like... It's a lot... It's actually more if I remember correctly. I'm looking for Mr. 50 something. I think I might have passed it. Not this one. I think it was this one. No, it's this one. It was something I could... This is a divine. No, it's this one, 64. This one has AoE, so I can craft minion damage. It has hybrid ES, stun block recovery. I can make it do with that. This is 20, 40, 60, 64. I just now realized something very crucial. It requires freaking level 70. I can use the gloves for another few levels. Gray. Requirements max level is 64, 65. This person is AFK. Move this back here and move this back here. Move this here, I think. Or was it here? Oh yeah, I do have you, but I don't need you. Sucks to be you, I guess. This is where I freaking dropped the toxic sewer that I was looking for. I knew I dropped it somewhere. I was like, I'm not bugging. Okay. So I need to find gloves that I can actually wear. I guess what I could do is I could also leave this to level 70 and just, if I leave it to level 70, I'm not going to use you again. Actually, I will, simply because this one will have minion damage, I guess. Yeah, that's a reason enough. All right. This one does not have minion damage, but it's fine. It has decent life. Lol. Thank you. That puts us at 192 int. Beautiful. It also puts our resistances at positive fire, negative cold, negative lightning, and then 13 chaos. We'll supplement our chaos res with this because our actual chaos res is minus 50. So right now we have minus 30 something. It should also be noted, and I guess I should do this sooner rather than later. Jeez. My gloves will have purity of elements, so if I can find it. My resistance is actually looking closer to 53 fire and then 20 something on the rest. So if I can get 50%, 50%, I'm kind of golden. Maybe overcap on them a bit, but I also need to get, I have 23 of this because this has minus 30, so that's also something I need to keep at the back of my head, that I need to overshoot my current fire res. So overall I need I have 2 ring slots open for res. One of them will have dex, and then res. One of them has to be an unset ring, so that's what we're going to look for first. Unset ring. And it needs to have, I said 20, let's just say 90 res. And then for life, so I'll go 75. It doesn't need ints, but ideally some dex of like 30. No, I need big dex. I need big dex. I need to get to 155. So if I don't want the other ring to have dex, does Unetal come with? Unetal is not here. Unetal is what? What is the base of Unetal? Anyone know? Anyone remember? I could just check PoE Wiki. Unetal's Val. I feel like it's attributes. Oh no, it has 1 socket and unset amulet. Okay. So we can't rely on this for anything besides res. We do get some res from ours, which is something to keep in mind. But until then, we're not gonna have the res. I don't rely on it for res, you know, stuff like that. So let's get. We need 52 decks from where we are. There's precisely 1 ring that matches all my descriptions. Oh shit, he actually is selling. And the fact that it is sub a divine, kind of wild. So this is 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 10. So this needs to have code res, all res, dex. Code res, all res, dex, mana, life, yada yada. Thank you. Okay. Now attributes are done. Resistances are kind of done. Code is fine. We need lightning, and we need more fire. So to get how much fire we need, I'm on 77. Oh yeah, I have +2 on my shield. Forgot about that. Okay, let's just assume we're like 78 for fire. That's 10 res plus 30. So this next ring has to have, well, it needs to be a bone ring. But it has to have fire res. Well, no, it needs to have a res of, what do I have on my bone ring? It needs to have a res of, how am I dying? 40, at least 40. So this number can go down to like 70. But it needs to have at least once, you know, let's do this instead. Counts 1. Or count 2. 45. 45. 45. It doesn't need dex. Let's see what we find. This has cold and lightning res, minion move speed. I would have liked chaos res, I'm gonna be honest. You know what I want? Actually, this is actually what I want. I want one of these resistances. So I'm gonna change the count to 1. Then I'm gonna go for chaos res. I'm gonna put this at 30. He needs one of these to be at 45. The reason is this is 10 plus 10, this 40. I guess it could be 40. It could be less than 40 to be honest, but the idea is, wait a second. I'm going to need lightning res. Yeah, the idea is the 45, the big one. Eesh, wait. I'm doing the math wrong. This is like 40 res by itself. Well, it's actually like 30 something. I'm going to say 40. 40 res, and this is like 40 res also. So that's like 80 res. Ah. Yeah, I think my first search was actually better. $25. I feel like this level requirement is going to block a lot of chaos res. Negative chaos res lol. Another thing might just be rolls, question mark. Let's try this. What is the highest singular roll we're gonna see? What if I switch everything here to 40? Because realistically 40 should be enough. Highest chaos res stat is 25, and I assume this is where, no, you have to even go further when I look at it. Now that I look at it, it should be able to go further. This ring isn't bad. Has life, has fire, has chaos, and then I can use this one for, I guess, lightning and chaos. I need to solve lightning res. And as it stands, I do not have lightning res. Because this would give me minus 30, so the 40 fire res would actually go to fire res. I guess what I could do in that situation is switch this, but then I would need even more fire. Maybe I could go fire and lightning, but then I lose chaos. I barely have chaos as is. Suffixes are in general full. I don't think I can get what I'm looking for. And I need a bone ring because I need the resistance on the implicits. Just in case for like capping all res for all minions. Because you never know. I can't just opt for a different ring. Let's take a hit on this. And the life. Maybe that's what's messing with us. How about I just do this? And I see what we find. Like this, if it didn't have intelligence, would have been perfect. This is perfect, actually. Because then I can craft chaos res and some other res. Or minion move speed if I don't need the chaos res anymore. Or anything else. And if I so choose, I can also craft minion, not minion, minus mana cost. That's a ring I'll probably end up buying. Unless I find one that's better. This has Dex. If it had int, maybe. Dex is always not handy to have. If any of these had mana regen, we would also be talking. Huh? Minion res, minus mana cost, live. No way you're selling. There is no way you're selling. But I heard something. Meanwhile, this one has 55 to Dex. And a free prefix. You're not gonna sell, right? War. I'm gonna just do it. Chaos Orb. Okay. And the best part, this ring has Dex. So I am far from... I'm now very, very healthily away from the Dex minimum. I'll just give myself a mana minus mana cost. Nope. Take this as a tax. Now we can slap this on. Our Chaos Res could use work. Oh, I need to switch cold to lightning. Cold res to lightning. Okay, cool. Capped on all res, yes. Overcapped on fire because we need to. Then we need to do this. get our 15. God, I rolled over it. 15%. Then it's going to be, for my specters, it's going to be blue, 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 red. Trying to make sure this matches. Why am I even wasting this? Three, 4, of course. Just what I expect from this base. Anyways, we're going to use these, like, our current gear until well into... Okay, we're ready. Feeding Frenzy.
Hail God's Slayer.
I'm gonna give it, I mean, summon Chaos Golem. And then this goes for Empower. Oh, jeez. Alright. Now that that's done, you can take that off. This can go in there. Okay. I need to empty here. And it starts with tossing these fuckers. And after that, well, this is determination, so we might just end up using this. Yeah, I think we 100% use this. Anyways, leave this in here. These are just crafting bases I plan to use at some point. What else are we doing? Gloves. Our gloves are gonna be all red and one blue. I think I just actually saved by just doing this. Looks like I don't save. I don't know why I try to be cheap about it. I feel like I'm running low on chromes either. Just give me two red. That's all I need. Because it's an int dex base, so it's going to be red hitting red. Like you can, but you probably spend more chromes than just using the recipe. Bro, there's no way. I mean, to be fair, it's still weighted against red. And it's still all RNG, because if it was just blue, there'd be an equal chance. But this is a blue-green base, so red has an even smaller pool or even smaller weights, all things considered. On the bright side, I'm not spending vows, so we have that going for us, which is nice. In less than ideal side, our patience is kind of being tested. Quite a bit, if I do say so myself. Because there's no reason why a 39 dex 39 int base is refusing to give me red for so damn long. Like, thank you, bruh. Swear to God, give me blue. Thank you. It doesn't matter if they are linked, so I'm just going to link them. Surely we load him up today. Yo, we haven't even started gearing up the AG. Maybe at some point we will. Sometime this century, I can guarantee it. Where's convocation? This is all because I'm trying to make it budget, by the way. That's the sole reason why we're doing all of this. I'm trying to see what it feels like on a budget setup with bare minimum investment. So what goes in here? The banners go in here. So Dread banner. I guess in this it's supposed to be Defiance banner and War banner. So I should put War banner in there, but I love Dread banner right now. And then we have gems. I guess this is a wait. We'll use you. And then PoE. Okay. Gloves are done. Boots. What's supposed to go in? Empower is supposed to go there. Helmet is done. Shield is done. Weapon is done. I think we're ready. All except the chest piece. Okay, now let's set up our bar. It's gonna be this. Convocation. Can't do animate weapon or self-reflection. So we're going to make that take a back seat. This goes for Val Haste. This goes for Body Convocation. Then these are the automatic skills. So Haste already has a spot. Purity of Elements. Until we get Charisma, we can't fit in all our auras. This is going to be a problem. Which aura takes the back seats? Probably Haste. Yeah, probably Haste. Auto Exertion. Automation. What is missing from this setup? I feel like there's a clarity I'm forgetting. But if there is, we'll never know. Where's my mana regen? 17. Not ideal. So here we put Curse. Here we put Defiance banner. Here we put Dread banner. Or War banner, as the case may be. And now we can take this off. Our AG of Smiting. You know, in all of this, I don't even know what chess piece I'm going to use. Dump that there. For the weapon, I guess it can go there. Does it really matter? Probably yes. I should probably get a 6-link weapon for this. We'll trash this one and get a 6-link one. Gloves, completely unnecessary, but they're 20% quality, so oh, 20% quality to give me it's give me one back, but who knows? These two can go. This to get out of here. Get out of here. You cannot get out of here. Okay. What is our chess piece going to be? We're going to find a random chess piece that's a random 6-link. That's gonna give us life. And we don't care about anything else. Body armor, 6-link. And then the life is like 170. Oh. 100? This is the problem. Because if I turn this off, oh, that's not the problem. Is this the problem? No. This is the problem. We mostly want red sockets. So if we can weight it more towards 5 red. Let me see. Let me just make sure that a blue is always fine. Yeah, it looks like a blue is always fine. There's always the amulet that can take one of the reds. This one is fine. But there's also supplements chaos res. Sure. I don't think I want to spend anything crazy on this, so we'll find those that are like maybe 30 chaos, maybe less. Nothing really? Sure. I don't care too much. What support gems am I gonna use? I'm not gonna be scaling crits yet, so crit is not going to be what I use. I'll instead have, I think I might have minion life. I might end up going minion life until I settle my minions defenses. It's going to be how much is this dying person's? 20. Now we can look at our AG and we can actually try to see if it's fits within budget. Thank you. Okay. We're just gonna chrome this until only one blue. AG of smiting. We don't need melee splash. Early damage with attacks. Volatility is fine, I think. We need to buy 2 empowers. None of these is needed. 1 empower for here, and then a rootless. Do I have a leveled rootless? Not quite leveled, but it's something. It has quality, and I'll take quality. So yeah, let's go in the market for level 3 empowers. Minimum level 3. Buying 2. That's 36. That's a lot of effort, my guy. That's what I'm buying 2. Thank you. All right. Empower. That's like the best we can do. It's gonna give him defenses and all of that good stuff without just outright hucking his damage. And I guess in that same vein, I should probably do something that's gonna be good here, which is Elemental Army. Elemental Army is going to raise his max res. And his resistance is just in case. He's going to be capped on non-chaos res. But not so much on chaos res. And I'm quite fearful of chaos damage on him right now. Unless I give him a red chess piece that will have chaos res. Which I don't think I plan on doing. What is the best I can do for his specific situation? For chaos damage, because chaos damage is all the way over here. I cannot do this. No, sorry, cannot do it. I plan on getting clusters, but we are nowhere near the level required for that. Looking at POB. Looking at POB, his sets. This would be nice for crits, but we don't need it immediately. So I think I'm actually just craft a pair of well, give him armor, like good armor. Give that all the chaos res I can fit on it. and I'll have him use that until we start pushing harder content where he would need this. But my priority right now would be getting these clusters in. If I can get the clusters in, specifically Dread March, he should not have an issue with capping, because Soul Ascension gives Chaos Res and so does Ralakesh. Two things we're going to be putting on him today. But yeah, with those two things, all he would need to cap his Chaos is one Dread March. One Dread March is enough to put him, I think it's 8 above. Yeah, 8 above. But without the second, without that Dread March, it's going to be 8 below. Or no, it's going to be 2 below. So it'll be on 73 res. So long as I can get at least 23 Chaos on the Soul Ascensions and whatever on the Ralakesh. So let's pick up the Soul Ascension first. What is the Chaos Res requirement again? I need 23 from this. So this one that's 25 will do the job just fine. And honestly, with this one, we don't even need to cap on from other sources, like from Dread March. He's just capped on Chaos Res. So then we can just give him a garb of the ephemeral. Of course, the person doesn't reply. Then we have this guy. Here's his +2 max souls, which is still fine. Keep in mind, we're going to upgrade the gloves eventually, but this is just how cheap can we get set up and what is that going to look like, and then can we scale up our damage from there with investments, with smart investing. Again, this is not a budget build. This is not the build you play when you're on the budget, because if he dies, he dies. 76. I only sold one. 20, 40, 60, 16. My guy, you came here. Thank you. Was exchanging if on exchange. So we have the Soul Ascension 20 equal to then let's go pick up the divine we didn't set. Okay, Soul Ascension, check. Ralakesh, please don't be too expensive. I mean, Ralakesh is not the most necessary, but it'd be nice to have. What is the Chaos Res we need here? 20. So anything with about 20 Chaos Res is Gucci. All right. Straightforward enough. Jesus Christ. All the... Okay, we've seen 21. 21, 23. Okay, cool. Is my guy's auto reply really no change, no discounts? Just because of that, I kind of want to ask him for change. When your alignment is chaotic, good. It's the same fucking guy? I see a pattern here. Collapse listing by account. Yes, get the fuck out of my face. Oh. Second one. Jesus Christ, man. God. That nightmare is over. I'll leave it at 17. It's not like we needed too much. Either way. Okay, we have our Alakesh. We have our soul. The weapon is really going to be where the cost comes in. Garb of the Ephemeral. Because we've just guaranteed we don't even need Chaos Res from anywhere else. So now we just need to find a garb that has decent implicits. Ideally, some percent life regen is fine. I don't care about attributes for him. Phase damage taken as chaos is alright. You know what? I actually do want phase damage taken as. Oh shit, I just realized how much I want phase damage taken as. Okay, we're looking for phase damage taken as. Phase taken as implicit. Fire. Cold. Chaos. Lightning. Minimum 1. No. Okay, let's just look. This also gives chaos res, it's fine. You can just use blessed orb for these implicits, right? What if I were to do 2? How expensive would this be? None of them have this too. Okay. You can reroll synthesize implicits with blessed orbs, right? Attacks have this to crit chance. Okay, that's one I'm gonna get. 100%. 1000%. How much is it? 75. 15. Thank you. All of these are well within the range the AG can still roll. So we're going to use Blessed Orb on this until we get decent phase damage taken us. It can get up to 10%. 8%. I saw someone have 10%, the fuck? I guess we're looking for 8%. And how did it get to 10% then? We're going to be shooting for 8% with as close to 1 as we can. Damage 6%. I'm only looking at the fist damage taken. As if it's not 8%, I'm not interested. This is fine. Chess piece done. Next one is Wilma's Requital. What is it? What is the thing we are looking for the most? I think it is the increased early damage to attack skills. I mean, bonus points if it has over 400 accuracy. Minimum 30 increase early damage attacks. Wilma's Requital has Wilma's Requital. I can corrupt it and get max power charges here. Yes, I can. Yeah, that's what we should go for. Turn all of these off, and the only thing we care about is max power implicit. I guess that's not the only thing, but let me even see. Does this increase elemental damage? Okay. Now, does this increase? Yes, it comes. It also has Wilma's 30%, so I need to add it to the whatever, the paste bin. The config rather. $50. Oh god. Oh wait. 20, 40, 50. Thank you. So that is helmet, boots, gloves, chest piece. Now all that is left is weapon and these jewels. Now these jewels are very important because it is the source of our minions leech. So we're going to need to get leech here. Other than that, we would be ready to take this guy out for a spin. How do I get 2 17s in a row first hits? How does that even work? I'll take it. 17 is close enough. Yo, base armor looks like shite. Need I just say it kind of really looks like shite. But okay. Weapon. What is a budget weapon we can get for this amount? 3 divines and a few chaos. We can go for a Rakiata's Dance. That's fine. But that's a few divines right now. A Void Forge is more expensive than this. I think realistically, it makes the most sense to try Rakiata's Dance because that is what I can potentially do next season. All things being equal. So by the way, I can use 3 specters, right? Yeah, 3. So I can get my guardian turtle and the other guy, the onslaught guy. All right, let's do it. Let's pick up the Rakiatas. This weapon is going to be a throwaway. We're going to be scaling Fizz. We're scaling Fizz. And Rakiatas comes with added lightning and added cold. We aren't running hatred right now. I wish we were. We're not. If we treat their values as inverted, we don't have any source of exposure, and we can kind of ignore conductivity right now. So let's go for Rakiatas. It's gonna be exactly 3 divines. But you know what this means? I successfully geared this character with less than 10 divines. Well, ignoring the Jinx Juju, but Jinx Juju is cheap. I mean, the anointed is still, I mean, I technically have it anointed, but the anointed is whatever. The shield doesn't count also, but it also isn't really going towards my resistance because my biggest worry right now is resist. I actually made this one this afternoon with like a few bound fossils and whatnot. So this is also under a divine, just what I got. So I successfully get this character, and like if I want to use this shield and actually use those numbers, it's more expensive, but I could also just buy a shield for myself, cheaper, get +1, get life. I mean, granted, it's also something to notice. It's at this stage of the league, right? But yeah, 596, 305 cold. It's a true weapon. Get something that works. No, 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 I don't want that. It needs to have capped attack speed, I forgot to say. I'm going for the one that has the highest attack speed. It also needs to have decent lightning max hits. Yeah, I'll go for this one. Come on, just reply, please. I need that one in particular. I need that one in particular. Come on. You know, for a second I thought I was lagging or something. Because it says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. Why is this happening? My connection seems fine on OBS. I'm not losing frames or anything along those lines. You know, that's weird. Okay. Person is not replying, obviously. So we find someone else. Thank you. Thank you. And we're done with the AG. Now we just need jewels. Well, first things first, I need a jewel that has leech. If I can get corrupted blood immunity, that'd be amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm not gonna get corrupted blood immunity for cheap, so I'm gonna just buy one that makes sense for my build. This has max life, it has T1 phase, and it has minion. Oh, never mind. Way outside my price range. I'm gonna set a maximum price of like 1,000 chaos. And put 2,000 chaos. The chaos is 1,000. 10 chaos, 10 divines is about 16 something. So slightly, it should be slightly over 10 divines. I just want to miss out on things I could say, okay, maybe I'll come back for this later, you know. 2 divines, chance to avoid bleeding and corrupted blood. Honestly, I think this is fine. And next thing's next. Next thing's next. I can finally not look for corrupted blood and just go for minions leech, because it's very important I have some form of leech. Later on I can find like both of them having leech and all of that, but for now minion leech is non-negotiable. Is there anything I'm forgetting? Corrupted blood is just... This is one divine, it has chance to avoid bleeding, it has leech, has fizz, all T1. Sure. Okay. Total, if we include the ghastly eyes, 13 divine spent. Like, this is a very budget setup. I just hope it's not budget to the point where the AG dies. That's the one thing that would happen, and I can just say it's a failure. Yeah. Between both of them, we actually have pretty decent chance to avoid bleeding, like actually decent. So if we just assume the 100%, this would be 50, this would be 70, right? 68. 68 plus 50 is more than 100% chance to avoid bleeding. So between these two, I'm bleed immune even with a 95% effect, because that's just how massive the boost of the 95% boost is. So we are actually bleed immune already, which is very interesting. We're going to do everything but Wilmar's Requital. Everything but. I'm also going to quality you up. The reason we're doing anything but Wilmar's Requital is I want to see it do damage without Wilmar's. Jesus, don't fucking scare me like that, yo. Don't fucking scare me like that. Okay. Which is so I don't accidentally click on anything I don't want to. And let's go to Blood Aqueduct. So you see, Arcane, we actually managed to finish gearing-ish. Because we're practically done. Corrupted Blood. How much regen do I currently have on this guy? And is there a way to make him Corrupted Blood immune? No. Corrupted Blood will be an issue until he gets like actual PDR. Maybe early on, Garb is not the way to go, but going Doppelganger makes more sense. I guess for now, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do the idea I had earlier, which is Meat Shield. Fun fact, Meat Shield has a damage component to it also. It has the less damage taken, obviously, but it has the... But it also has the... Let's do this. It has the damage components to it that is for enemies that are close to you. So all I have to do is make sure I'm close to enemies. And that should work. Meat Shield. This is going to be one of the first support gems I'm actually doing this for. But I'm actually going to quality up that support gem manually. I want 20. What else is the way I decided I was going to defend him? It was Forbidden Flesh and Flame, but I don't have access to that yet. How tanky do I think this guy is right now? He has 3 endurance charges, so that should give him... Corrupted Blood and Minions. Oh yeah, so that I'm not bugging. There's no way to make them immune to corrupted blood. But we can make him tankier to it. So let's do that. What are the ways I'm going to improve his PDR? Well, the first and obvious way is I'm going to get Guardian Turtle. I need to get a perfect Guardian Turtle. Then I'm going to use my perfect... Is there any damage reducer I can use? Not right now, I don't think. Because yeah, like, it's obvious. Corrupted blood will be an issue. Right? That much is kind of obvious. Then I plan on having Perfect Forest Warrior for Onslaught. And Perfect Forest Warrior and something else. Oh wait, you know what the thing is? He doesn't even have his leech yet. I just remembered. He doesn't have his leech for another level. Well, we've established he can take damage, or he can deal damage rather without. What is a decent place for him to scale in? I don't like Blood Aqueduct right now because it has corrupted blood. I don't want to deal with that. I need to get a level higher so I can give him leech.
A worthy opponent.
Okay, so this is basically how the thing is gonna go.
I can't do this just yet.
Yo, using meat shield without... Using meat shield without Predator would have me going into, like, you know, more difficult positions. But ideally, the moment I get to level 70, I can just equip a higher level. But you have a good idea of what his attack speed looks like. So we're going to give him a yeah, I can't wait to see him when he fully ramps up his shit. All right. Next things next. We throw in the helmet and we see if, I mean, it's not gonna, I don't think it will stop him from doing damage, but you can never be too sure. Because he doesn't have a passive tree, so it's in theory is a no-brainer. Should always work the way I think it will work. But again, you never know. Yeah. It's working. It's working very well. Is it? No, it's not. How is he? He's attacking much quicker. It's just... Can you explain to me why this works the way it does? But yeah, we can actually see how fast he can actually get to. Look at this. Okay. At least we know something we can give him to make sure he, like, just for memes, we can see how fast he can attack. Let's find a new rare.
I can't do this just yet.
We're going to stay close by to a portal just in case we need to dip. This mob should, in theory, just never die, and as such, we can have him stack max Solita stacks. This is how fast he can, in theory, hits, by the way. This is without other skillings. This is just Solita. And at this point, we don't have to worry about him dying because he has like 90% reduced damage taken or some shit from Solita. But yeah, it's a shame that the helmet doesn't work. It's a big shame. So since it doesn't work, what was my backup plan for helmets? I think it was Mask of the Stitch. No, not Mask of the Stitch Demon. I just removed it. Crown of the Tyrant with minus with flat lightning. Oh jeez. It's so sad that romance doesn't work. It would have been so fucking good, man. It would have been so good. But alas, it actually doesn't work. Everything else works. So we just need to replace the helmet with... We don't need Lear cast. I could give him the brittle helmet in theory. That would also work. But I think right now his best bets... I think his best bet right now is just Crown of the Tyrant. But that's like 4 divines. What's a budget alternative? PoE wiki. What about the Abyssus helmets? I think they should be cheaper, right? Abyssus and replica Abyssus. No, Abyssus is increased physical damage taking. That we can't do that. Replica is Replica Abyssus is what? Increase early damage taking ball. It's also melee crits. I don't care about melee crits per se, so I actually do, but I don't. And the reason I'm leaning away from going something like this is it's already squishy as is. Elemental max it is actually decent, so it's not the end of the world, but it's still 50% increase early damage taken. It's a lot of flat elemental damage and it's melee crit, so his single target would be good. I guess let's POB the 2 different helmets. Replica Abyssus. 10 mil. I assume everything is happening here. Max hits have gone down because increased elemental damage taken. Yeah, okay. Everything is... Abyssus is working fine. Cool. 10.4 mil. We also reduce this to... I guess this should now be 20 Solita stacks. But 20 Solita stacks takes 10 seconds to stack, so I'm going to leave it at 10 and just reduce this to... Let's do this. I don't want to reduce it yet because I already have a mental picture of like... I have a mental picture of the damage. I don't change it in a strong way yet. But anyways, AG Crown of the Tyrants. Yeah, it doesn't count Crown of the Tyrants. Minions have 16 to 144. Added lightning damage. I guess it should be nearby allies. And then nearby enemies have minus 10% to all resistance. This is 10.2. Well, this is 10.4. Things to note. This is 10.4 from melee damage, so it's not really buffing the lightning as much. And it has the downside of having the increased damage taken. So, Crown of the Tyrant wins hands down. Not even close. Not even close. This is from the chess piece, Mark of the Garb of the Ephemeral. Then I guess we buy a Crown of the Tyrant. How much are they going for? 4 divines, right? Crown of the Tyrant. Yeah, 4 divines. The only thing that's variable is the helmet. Is the life rather. Wait a second, do I have I wanna sell 1 mirror shard. Just because of how impromptu it is, I'm gonna do the 29. But I should have waited for the full thing. Flynn Rider, isn't that the name of isn't that the name of the hero on, I guess, the good guy in Rapunzel? Well, now I have my helmet. Okay, let's wear our Crown of the Tyrant or Mask of the Tyrant, so we no longer have the max charges, sadly. I mean, to be fair, you should show Crown of the Tyrant. Why it's showing this way, I don't know, but I guess it's because this only spawns in Delve, right? Only Delve spawns, it's the crown, and I think they're probably trash other unique, so it's probably where that comes from. I think you would definitely want to have this guy aggressive though. And I already see some jank in his AI, I'll be honest. Where there's someone who is directly in front of us, but he runs like, he tries to run through them to hit one person in particular who he's targeting. But in any case, it matters not. Like you see, he just walked over that way when this guy is still up. This guy is still up, but he just walked all that way. I don't think this would be as comfortable as chains of command, so I might end up pushing the chains of command more. But there is always the fact that I have banners on this one, so even if he wants to do like some bullshit, we can allow him to because he has the movement speed to, you know. So yeah, now we can actually use our jewels. Holy gameplay, what's the AoE clear? What do you mean? What's my plan? If you're asking what my plan for AoE is going to be, I need to save up points for this. Is there anything here? No, but I need to do lab, so let's go do lab. I ask him what's how do I plan on using him for clear, because eventually maybe I should wait for my perfidy. Nah, if it looks like he's going to die at any point because of traps or whatever, I'm just going to log, like genuinely so. But yeah, this is fine. If I drop a banner, this is centered around banners, right? So the moment I drop a banner, he has explode. Oh god, the layout changed. And if you're asking why he's hitting, like, he can actually hit 3 of them, in case that's what you're wondering. Oh, I've been leveled on my desecrates. It's gonna take me a while to get used to my banner being on E.
Where there's a golden key, there must be a golden door.
Whenever I press my banner button, it feels like I literally just hit fast forward. That's what it genuinely feels like. Like, oh, can we just skip this boring part? Okay.
Let the day dawn golden with possibility.
Is this right? Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, whenever they are in my banner, whenever they're in my banner, they are going to explode, or they're going to have a chance at explode. So he doesn't have explode innately, but we give him explode with banner. I don't know if it quite scales with, like, yeah, I could probably just stand here and chill, but I don't know that this. Yeah, I don't think it scales with banner effects. I don't think it does. I could be wrong, but I'm probably right. It's probably just a flat. Yeah.
The weary traveler draws close to the end.
His strength is mostly going to be, honestly, facing single targets.
Imaginations converge to a single act of power.
And also, War Banner is going to be a big damage buff for him.
Stand your ground. Such resilience. Even the grandest designs can
Don't get impressed by this. This is literally not even Uber Lab. This is tier 3 lab. But I need tier 3 lab so I can actually get 100% accuracy on him. So there's also that. Then the moment I do that, I'm also going to try to get my Uber lab done. Well, maybe not the moment. I think I need to end my stream soon. But I want to get my Uber lab done so I can get fortification myself. And with fortification, the idea is to have a forbidden flesh and flame, giving enough levels. Jeez, really? But my plan is to have a forbidden flesh and flame with, so I can give him some fortification and he takes less damage. Same with my other minions. This is a big defensive layer for them because it's free 15 fortification, right? I mean, for now we have to use meat shield. Yeah, his AI is kind of weird. Like in tight spaces, he's going to struggle. Like watch, see? Why is he standing there? Because he doesn't have line of sight with his target, I think. Is there any way to give him phasing? Aside the dreaded Immortalis Umbilicus. Can I make do without him, without my belts? Because in theory, curious what gear the Guardian is using. All right, helmet is Crown of the Tyrant, so that's the one expensive piece he has. Garb of the Ephemeral chest piece, converting some phase to elemental. But the reason for Garb is crit immunity and more elemental damage taken when he has divinity. His boots are Ralakesh, so he has max charges. His gloves Soul Ascension, so he has Soul Eater. And then weapon is Rakiatas. The weapon is budget, by the way. This is not what we plan to use late game, but this is, I tried to get a character working for 10 divines, and I did. Well, for I think plus the weapon was, it was the full. My guy FaZe.
You were born for this. Only one of your lessons was
Yeah, FaZe.
ascendant.
Anyways, so that's his gear. I think I spent 10 divines on him, and then if you include these jewels I bought, then that's 13 divines. But yeah, that's what's been spent so far. This is not the way the build is supposed to be played completely, because we're supposed to get a chess piece that's supposed to just make our banners basically permanent, but we don't have access to it yet. We need to get to, I think, level 69. Wink, wink. Before we get use of that chess piece. But once we have our banners permanently, it's gonna feel pretty good. Yeah, this is fine, I think. But yeah, that's what the Guardian is currently rocking. I also plan on making him aggressive at some point. Maybe that would help. And if it doesn't quite help, then I mean, I'm gonna keep him on meat shield until I can give him my fortification. Then fortification will take the place of meat shield, and then we can actually use a damage support there. Is that because he doesn't phase onto the? Yeah, he's very weird with his phasing. I keep looking at this and thinking, I'll go for max block here.
Give of yourself. I die for the Empire.
Add some mil XP. 15 mil XP on this guy will take him to requiring, now he requires 60. I can handle it, I think. Yeah, I can handle it. 16. All right, he's one level higher. And then we can just pop him back up. Switch. And now he has 100% accuracy. Next, we need the fortification. Okay, now, oh, forgetting something. I'm not even entirely sure I can just join myself into this. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, we got up the ephemeral. There's something else to note. You become stun immune so long as he is around you. So it's free stun immunity. And because we are stun immune and freeze immune, we can just switch to this really early. So we actually have more PDR than I just remember that. I should buy a war banner. And it should replace Dread banner. And only when we get to Izaru do we switch. Actually, let's not switch. How far are we? Level 72 for the gem. But level what for the chess piece? 68. Oh, still 2 levels away. Frog, I have a very strong feeling that the game is not going to let me attempt. I think so. I don't think the game's going to let me. I just recently got a little stronger by getting quality on my gems. Oh, nice. Yeah, it's always good to take the... Yeah. So by the time we're doing the Uber lab, we should already have the new chess piece. And then we can adjust our gameplay as needed to potentially have perma banners. Because most of the time, even with the quote-unquote perma banners, we don't plan on actually using perma banners. We plan on using one banner, at least a movement speed banner. Let's actually find a layout I like. I'm a bit dicey on going straight into a tier 16, but let's go. Let's go into one. Toxic sewers, quality. I think because of his chess piece, temporal chains isn't even gonna affect me.
Like stepping into a dream.
Yeah, his AI is kind of awkward. He just pauses at times. Like he just pauses. I don't fully get it. Oh, I think I also didn't taunt. That might have been an issue there too. Is ritual really making my life difficult? Okay, we'll go to the next one. Ritual is making my life difficult and I'm kind of scared. And the reason I'm scared is just because of the chaos corpse explosions that... Okay, can we not get the ritual this time? How long do I need to wait for my cluster? And not okay, just one more level. So it's not too bad. I thought it was worse. Still charges. Do I even have charges yet? I do not. There are no charges too still. And I also want to equip this guy. I'm hoping this build is not going to be held back by the ages. Why am I lagging so bad? Is this part of the reason it just looks weird? Oh shit, we're dropping frames too. Oh god. Connection is shaky now. I don't know if you guys can hear me at this point. 10.4 mil DPS for your earthquake. Congratulations, Keo. Thinking of spending my next few points on more rage generation. Not a bad idea. More rage is never bad. Especially if you can get like, oh god. I don't think you guys can hear me, can you? Yeah, no, the drop frames are in